Well, hi there, and welcome to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy Dole.
I'm Eric Stromer.
And we love to make you feel better about the place where you live, no matter it's an apartment or a palatial house or something in between. We just want you to feel good about it.
We want you to come home and go, you know what, doggone it, I like it here.
And I'm going to stay.
And I'm going to stay. We're not selling, honey. We're staying. You know why? Because we got a nice place.
And people are friendly.
That's right. We like our neighbors.
And in the garden where things are happening. In fact, how about growing things from the food that you buy? So this is something that is really becoming a hot craze. The idea of you go to the grocery store, you go to the farmer's market, you get all these fresh, fruits and veggies and lovely things, you eat it, but now there's some scraps, there's some leftovers, there's some potential here.
See, this is a great segment for me because I just spent the time, when was it, a couple of weeks ago, it was one of these, I can't remember, one of the Hallmark holidays that show up every 5 seconds, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't want to just buy something that's going to die, right? So I got the calla lily in the pot, and then I planted it after it sort of, like, here's your calla lily. Oh, thank you. Oh, my God, that's so nice. It's in the garden. It's growing. It looks great.
See?
It's not a waste of money. I feel like when you buy the flowers, they're dead 2 days later.
Well, now we're talking about taking that to the next level and growing things you can eat.
I know. What the heck? This is awesome.
Things you're going to be able to eat from things you've already eaten.
I know.
Okay?
So what do you got for me?
I mean, it's everything from like green onions to celery to carrots to lettuce. The list goes on. So there are at least 25 foods that you can regrow yourself from kitchen scraps. And we're talking about, it doesn't matter if you have a garden or not. So there's no excuses here. Okay, so everyone raise your hand.
Okay, hold on. Okay, it's mine's up.
I am going to do this.
I, Eric Stromer, am going to do it.
It's fun. I mean, this is like, talk about a great family hobby or even just, you and a friend, whatever, a great project. All right? So think about it. Think about, what are your favorite things that you love to eat?
Well, the main thing for me is
bacon.
Lettuce. It just seems like such a waste of time.
Okay,
right?
so lettuce.
So what do we do with lettuce?
Lettuce is number one. In fact, lettuce and bok choy and cabbage. And by the way, have you noticed when you eat heated cabbage from the Chinese takeout, it's so sweet?
Yeah.
I've learned that when you make broccoli, when you steam broccoli, if you want it to taste like the Chinese restaurants, you put some cabbage in there in the water. It's the sweetness from the cabbage juice that gives your broccoli and other vegetables just a little bit of something extra. And probably some extra vitamins. Have you done that before?
No,
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It's
That's
just
great to know.
Apparently they're in the big woks in the back of the Chinese restaurants.
They just take some of the water.
They use that same cabbage juice, and their carrots are in there, and the broccoli. But then have you noticed how it comes out sweet?
It's better at those restaurants.
It's sweeter and crispy. And so then I know, for crying
out. This is the secret.
I know. So, but let's think about it. When you're buying your lettuce, your bok choy, and your cabbage.
Yeah.
It's really pretty easy to grow from scraps. Instead of throwing out the leftover leaves, okay.
So like the husk or the bottom of the
here's what I want you to do. I want you to place the leftover leaves in a bowl with just a little bit of water at the bottom. Okay, and you're going to keep the bowl somewhere where it gets good sunlight. Now, this is a little bit of a science experiment, a good thing for the kids, right?
Yep.
And you want to mist. I know you're going to feel kind of nutty. You're going to be misting your kitchen scraps, but you're going to mist the leaves with water a couple times each week.
Okay.
Okay, you got to put that in your
calendar.
calendar.
So it's in the water, plus
bowl,
you're misting a couple of times.
Buy this in good sunlight misting it. I mean, there's a little bit of effort.
Sounds like the kitchen window.
It's a little bit of effort. Ahead. After 3 or 4 days, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You're going to notice these little squiggly,
little
wiggly
tiny roots.
They're going to appear along with new leaves.
Okay, and you don't have to change out the water in the glass that you're soaking it in?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay, just 3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days.
You're done.
Okay.
And within 3 or 4 days, how's that for gratification? Now it's time to put that in some soil.
Hardy soil.
Done. You have now got your own lettuce.
You put that outside
crop.
in the pot, in the sun.
You might have to buy lettuce again for another week or two, but very soon you're going to be seeing you've got the fruits of your labor.
You know what?
Lettuce.
I'm not buying lettuce because I'm growing it right there in my own.
Well, you might want to buy it today. Buy it today, and then you can.
I'm going to buy it. Here's my pledge. I'm going to buy it one more time, and that's the end.
That's the end.
That's it.
Okay, celery. Add this to your list. Celery is one of the easiest foods to grow from leftover scraps.
Well, here's what I do. I put celery in water in the refrigerator,
in a
and it stays crispy. So clearly, you got to be able to grow this.
So that's what they do in the restaurants, right? That's what they're doing in their back in their refrigerators.
Sure.
They're storing it in water, right? So you just cut off the bottom, that kind of icky part, the base of the celery.
Yeah.
You're going to lay it again in a bowl of water, but it has to be just a little bit of warm water in the bottom.
Okay.
Now, you're not going to put this in the refrigerator because we're going to grow it. We're going to put this in direct sunlight somewhere in your home as much as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to keep it there for about a week. And then you're going to start to see the leaves are going to get a little thicker, and you're going to see some kind of growth along the base. And guess what happens now? This is about 1 week in.
Okay, what?
It's time to put it in the soil.
Get out of here.
So basically,
Straight
lettuce,
in, just right in.
3 to 4 days for lettuce, 1 week for celery. Aren't you like feeling like there's no
I feel like
need?
I got a farm now. All I need is a cow.
Okay. Lemongrass. Lemongrass, if you love using lemongrass, but you find that difficult time finding it, you can grow it on your own. A lot of times you'll see this in Asian foods,
Yeah.
right? And maybe you get this from the Asian grocery stores. But it grows just like regular grass. You place the root that's left over again in a glass bowl. You might
Okay.
need to load up on some mason jars, I'm thinking, for this experiment. Just with enough water to cover it. And then leave it in the sunlight. Again, if you have a patio, you could put it out there. You'll notice some new growth very quickly, maybe within a week. Time to put in a pot and some soil.
I have a hydroponic farm right now. Look at that.
You
a couple
are
of jars later, I don't need lettuce. I don't need your stinking lettuce
I know.
supermarket. That's right.
It's called Super Stromer Market.
it is.
What I'm saying. How about bean sprouts?
Well, now I've seen people grow the bean sprouts.
have.
What do you think?
I've never tried this, but if you love cooking with bean sprouts, I love them in a salad. They're crunchy.
They're
Asian
delicious.
foods, right?
Riddled with nutrients.
Yes. What kind of nutrients are we getting from this?
Every mineral you could think of.
Antioxidants, right?
You
Crunchy.
bet.
And it's very satisfying, filling,
Yes.
right? So all you need is you would soak your leftover bean sprouts that you bought. Now, don't tell the grocery stores you're doing this.
Well, because they're going to
might-
get threatened. They're going to
gonna-
try and put the kibosh on
They're
you.
going to come to your home and they're going to say, you're getting
You're
into
taking,
our
you're pulling
profits.
business from us. I know, right?
Anyway, we'll tell you about how to grow bean sprouts from the bean sprout scraps you just bought at the grocery store.
Man,
Don't tell anybody.
I'm
you're
not
saving
saying
money.
it. No way. Don't.
Anyway,
They'll try and come after you like the mob.
Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, you're listening to Home Wizards. You're listening to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy Dole.
I'm Eric Stromer.
And who knew that you could grow bean sprouts from bean sprouts you bought at the grocery store?
This is good. This is good. You know what? I'm putting the markets out of business. You just watch me.
It's going to be called Whole Stromer.
Whole Stromer. That's it.
So if you love Asian cooking, you love the crispiness of the bean sprout in your salads, or maybe even in a sandwich, right?
Yep.
All you need to do is you get a few bean sprouts, maybe just a tablespoon or so of, and you don't even need a whole bunch of them. You can grow them in a jar with shallow water. You just leave this overnight, and then in the morning you drain the water off, and then you just put these moist beans in this jar, back in the container, and you cover. Now this one's going to be different than the other. We're talking about how to grow.
You're putting it under the blanket, like a paper towel or something?
This one likes to be in the darkness.
Sure.
This is different than we were talking about growing such things as celery and
Yeah,
lettuce.
they need direct sun.
They need a little bit of sun in the water. But now,
Your sprouts, you're tucking them in for the night.
this is going to have a little blankie. You're going to
Yeah.
cover the container with a little towel or something over it, and then you rinse it the next morning, and you keep doing this, right? So basically it's going to be, you rinse it, you cover it in and then put the water out, cover it, and let it sit over in the corner, right? And then you keep doing this until you notice the sprouts are going to begin to appear, and they're going to reach the size you want. And this works well with mung beans, too.
Sure. Oh, and mung beans are riddled with nutrients
You
as
love
well.
mung beans?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's
Now,
talk.
you know that stuff natto? Have you ever seen that or tasted it? It's seriously the most disgusting smelling and tasting thing in the history of mankind. It's called natto, I think. And it's a Japanese fermented food.
Ooh, but it's good for you,
But probably the best thing you
Right.
could eat in the world.
Anything fermented,
Yeah,
probably,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So that, again, is all you do with bean sprouts is you're going to, again, take about a tablespoon of them, put them in a jar, put a little shallow water in it, leave it overnight, drain the water, then put the beans in the corner with a little towel in it overnight, and then rinse it every day. And so it's basically sitting there with the towel, like with the steam. It's almost like a steam sauna.
That's it, yeah.
And you're rinsing it to get any of the muck off, and then you're going to be in action.
You're going to be in sprout heaven is what you're going to be
in about a week.
Yeah.
Now the avocado
Again,
thing. Yes?
taking some of the hit from the market share from the grocery stores.
I know. All of a sudden, you're going to be hearing this.
Hello,
Mr. Stromer.
bean sprout police.
We have,
Yeah.
hello, it's the local grow. We have a problem
We got
here.
problem. Butchers with big cleavers, like really mad at me.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, that they're finding that people are not buying frozen foods. That there's a huge hit, like Nestle and a bunch of other, like Lean Cuisines and people
Sure.
like that. That there's a big push. People want to eat fresh.
They want to eat fresh foods, and I don't blame them. It's healthy.
And now you can not only eat fresh, but
You can grow it.
You can do it on your own.
You can
without
make your
the
own
grocery
food.
store. Okay.
We were talking on the break. We just need a goat, and we're done.
We're done. How about avocados? I know you
Now,
love your
I've done the
avocados.
avocado with the seed.
Okay.
You put the toothpicks right in the seed.
Yep.
Cover it in the water, about the third from the bottom, all the way up in water.
It should be, you put it over a jar. The toothpicks sit over
That's
a jar,
right.
so the seed is dangling down.
Yep.
And the water should come up to about an inch of the seed, and
Inch of the
not all the
seed.
way up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you make sure that water doesn't evaporate. You got to keep it right at that level for, what is it, a couple of weeks.
You're going to
right?
check
6
the water
weeks.
every day. It's going to take you about 6 weeks. You got to be a little more patient on this.
Yeah.
But then you're going to start seeing the leaves.
And then it's going to grow up about 6 inches, right? And when it gets to that height, that's when you take it to the soil.
And you're going to put it in a container.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Hello Avocado Farm.
And you're going to, and remember that you want to put about half of it when you do see the leaves
Yeah,
appearing.
you want to have half the seeds sticking out of the
above
dirt.
the soil.
That's it.
Yeah. So there's
And then, you know what? Guacamole time.
see,
That's
you're ready.
it. Starts with one, and then you got to get a couple more.
You'll have a whole tree.
Couple of years, you'll have your own guacamole farm.
How about potatoes? Now,
Yeah.
virtually everyone knows that potatoes can grow from potato peelings. Did you know
well,
that?
I didn't know. No, I thought it was just the potato because
No.
I've had them in the cupboard for a long time.
And you see
then
them, there's little roots
there's
coming
lots
out.
of roots coming
and
out.
they
right?
love the darkness.
Yes, they
right?
do.
Well, this one is really, it's almost, again, a fun little kid experiment. You need the peelings that have eyes on them. And those little nubs?
Sure.
And those little nubs, you cut the peelings about 2 inches into 2-inch pieces, ensuring there's at least 2 or 3 eyes on each piece. So the ugliest ones possible.
Sure.
And you let them dry out, and then you simply plant them. You're going to put these directly in the soil.
Are you kidding me? You can take the peels with the eye and put it right in the soil and start potatoes?
You want at least 2 or 3 eyes on a little piece that's about 2 to 3 inches around, and then you're going to let it dry overnight, and then just put that about 4 inches deep into some soil, and make sure that the eyes are facing up.
Okay.
And it'll take a few weeks, but you'll start to see your potato plant begin to grow. Now, with all these things, especially if you put them in the soil, we recommend that you label what it is because you're going to
Yeah,
get
you're
confused.
going to be like, what the heck is this?
What was this little thing with the
Was
eyes
this the
coming
avocado?
up?
Was this the potato? I don't know. Right?
And that can be as simple as a spoon, you
yeah,
Sharpie on it.
or a popsicle stick with
Yeah,
a Sharpie
exactly.
that says potato right here.
Just to get you by so you know what you've got. Or a rock,
Yep.
How about sweet potatoes? I'm on a sweet potato
Boy, I
kick.
am too. I eat them every day.
I love them in the microwave.
I just bake them in the oven. I like them better in the oven. Baked.
Oh, because they get
They
crispy.
get a little caramelized.
Oh, yeah.
I love
Okay.
'em,
All
yeah.
right. So sweet potatoes can also be grown much like regular potatoes. All you do is you cut the sweet potato in half. Kind of like the avocado thing. You suspend it using toothpicks above a container of water.
Okay.
And then the roots are going to dangle down, probably in about a few days is all. And then you're going to start to see some sprouts coming up over the top. Mm-hmm. And once those sprouts reach about 4 inches, it's time to then twist off those sprouts and put it in a container of water, not soil yet.
Okay.
And then when the roots from the container are about an inch long, then you can put it in soil. So, I mean, this is like amazing. We're going to have vegetable heaven.
I don't know what I'm going to do with all this produce. What do I do?
You're gonna
I'm going to have a farm stand
You're going to have a lot of containers.
and a lemonade stand.
I know. But you can do this.
I could make some extra income.
Now, how about ginger?
Yeah.
And we learned this from
love
one of our
ginger,
chefs.
by the way.
We learned about that great tip about cutting the raw ginger and then taking one of the chef knives
Yeah.
carefully, line the ginger on top, and with your hand on top of the
You flatten it.
and you go like that.
Yeah.
And that's how you smoosh it,
And you're getting the oils, the
juices.
juices from the ginger.
which is a great way for all of your
Yes.
cooking.
I love
But the
ginger.
ginger root itself is also easy to grow once you get started, and you can keep your own supply of ginger year-round. You basically take one of those, go one last time. Okay, grocery store, I'm giving you all I got one last time, and you get that one last piece of ginger root. But you can take what's left, and you put that directly in the soil. That's all
That's
you do.
it. So that's essentially just a root
It's
or a tuber of some sort. That's
Exactly.
it. Done.
That'll just keep producing in the soil.
By the way, the ginger tea, all you got to do is take a sliver of the ginger, put it in hot water, let it steep for a couple of minutes, get yourself a delicious ginger tea.
Isn't
Done.
that amazing?
Medicinal, delicious.
Yeah.
Free. Hello. I
Yes.
just bought ginger one more time. That was it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are 25, and we'll put this all on the website, foods that you can grow from kitchen scraps. I mean, it's so inspirational. How about pineapple?
See, now I had no idea.
I know. Now, all you do, and this I think requires just a little bit more patience, but you can do this because a pineapple is expensive. You cut the crown off, the big
Sure.
fluffy thing on top. You cut it off, and then you insert a few toothpicks, kind of like the avocado.
Yeah.
And you put it in a glass jar so that the toothpicks
Suspended. Yeah.
You fill it with water up to the top. You keep this in direct sunlight. So you might want to put this outside
Okay.
in your patio,
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
on a porch, on a deck. Bring it in at night, though. So again, it's a little more.
Got to be warm at night.
You got to be babysitting this thing. You can't
Yeah.
leave it out overnight. And you have to remember to change the water every other day. So this is a little bit more.
A little more labor
a little
intensive.
more stuff.
But it's tender. It needs love.
But boy, you know what? You're going to see roots in about a week or two.
Yeah.
And once that's formed, now you can put it in potting soil. And if you live in a cooler area, then it's better to grow. You can grow your pineapple indoors. But have
Come
fun.
on. Can you really?
I'm going to do this.
Can you
I'm gonna
imagine?
yeah. So this is not. So I'm going to buy one.
By the way,
pineapple.
your last name Dole. Obviously, you're related to the Pineapple Kings.
So I'm going to grow this, and I'm going to take
And
over.
you're going to take over.
I'm
You're
gonna say,
going
look,
to take
there's
back your business.
This is
aren't
the
you?
new variety of pineapple.
There's a new Dole in town.
How about garlic? Garlic is really easy to grow just from one clove. The next time you go to the store and there was a spare clove you put in the refrigerator, don't do that.
No, I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm going to grow my own.
Pull off one and then plant it with the roots facing down in potted soil in a container that what? You're going to label it because
Yeah.
by now you've got like a half a dozen things. I'm getting confused already.
Yeah.
So garlic likes a lot of direct sun. It's going to love your Northridge
So
location.
you're going to just put the garlic where?
Instantly, you're going to take it. You're going
Right
to put
in the dirt.
You're going to put the root facing down in the potting soil
Yeah.
in a container, indirect sun. Keep it outside during the day. Once you notice that there might be some new little shoots, you can cut the shoots back, and then it's going to produce its own bulb. And guess what? Now you can take the bulb and plant that, and that's going to be your ticket to paradise.
So Long Industrial Food Complex. There's a new guy in town. His name's Eric Stromer. He's got his own farm now.
Don't you feel like you're really?
I'm empowered. I don't need you.
know.
I don't need your stinking supermarket. Not me.
Well, you need me. You just
I
don't
need you.
Yeah.
Because you're the new the queen of the Dole Empire.
Okay. Well, should we talk about more things that you can grow?
Yeah. Well, we got a couple more.
Got a couple more. I mean,
We'll do
there's
a couple more when we come back, just so you know. And then we're
okay.
gonna
I mean,
move on.
you can grow tomatoes from tomatoes.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Anyway, Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. You're listening to Home Wizards.
Singing this, bringing this to the entire nation. Black, white, red, brown, feel the vibration. Come on, come on. Feel it, feel it. Feel the vibration.
Good sense, innocence, crippling mankind. Dead kings, many things I can define.
So we're changing things up in terms of the way you look at veggies at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
We don't need the supermarket. You know why?
You need it for one more time.
Just one more.
or the farmer's market just
Yeah.
one more time. Because guess what?
You're starting a farm.
We're growing our own from kitchen scraps, baby.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not going to buy your stinking celery when I can grow my own. You kidding me?
Not that we don't love grocery stores. We
No.
still want to get meat and things like that, and
Sure.
seafood. But hey, why not save some money? And who are you, by the way?
My name's Eric Stromer, farmer.
And I'm Cindy Dole, farmer lady.
Yeah.
And this is Home Wizards. And you may not have a garden or a farm. Don't be afraid. This is so exciting because we are saving money and we're going to have our own, reach out the window and there's some onions, for instance,
there's
in a
my
container.
onion, there's my basil, there's my tomato.
So onions. Are you ready for this? You can grow these indoors.
Get out of here.
Onions.
Why throw out?
Indoors.
You cut the onion, you throw out the root.
Oh my
We're not-
gosh,
we're not doing
that's
the
money down the
gold
drain.
right there,
I
baby.
know.
That's your retirement.
I mean,
This thing I just cut off this onion for my omelet, that's my retirement money.
it may burn your eyes.
That's it, but it's going to save
Instead,
you in
it's
the long
burning
run.
your wallet.
That's it.
So, hey, you're burning a hole in that wallet, baby.
That's it.
So instead, we want you to cut the root off the onion
Yeah.
and make sure you leave about an inch of the onion. And then you're going to cover it. You're going to go right in the soil for this one.
Right in.
You're going to cover it
Straight to the source.
cover it lightly with some potting soil in a container in a sunny area. And this is any kind of onion. Green onions, by the way, you put them in a container of water.
Oh, the green onions, yeah.
But the white and the red onions, you're going to put
They
them
go
in
straight
soil.
into the soil, yeah.
And you're going to have some action.
Now that root goes down.
The root goes down,
Yeah.
and you're going to if the green onion is your flavor and choice, you're going to put that in a glass of water. Change the water every few days. The green will continue to grow.
And I've seen
so-
those roots grow on the green onions
And you can
before.
just snip it from there. That can be your source.
Boom,
Yeah, I
in
need
the
some
s-
green
right
onions
there.
in my
Why
chicken
not?
roast.
I want to put it on my baked potato.
Right, just
I'm-
snip, snip.
Hey, I got to go to the market. Why?
what?
Why,
Oh,
friend?
right
I've
over
got a
there.
farm right here. That's right.
Boy, you know what? You're going to have a lot of people knocking at the door. wanting-
They're going to be standing in line to get my produce. But you know what? I may or may not.
You're
give it to 'em.
selective
I'm
about who you
selective.
wanna
It
share
depends
with.
on who you are and what you need.
What can they? It's got to be fair trade.
Sure, I got
you
green
know?
peppers.
How about pumpkins? Now, pumpkins, you hear about how.
Well,
cooking-
I see pumpkins. I've had them grow, just from the seeds when they rot. And then
You
they
have?
they fall into the soil, and a whole new batch shows up.
Really?
Yeah, because they just, if they're in an area, the vine gets super long, the pumpkin disintegrates over time, and then guess what? More pumpkins. Turns into a crazy pumpkin patch.
Well, so you can basically save a couple of your pumpkin seeds, either from pumpkin or store-bought pumpkin seeds, and
Sure.
spread the seeds in a sunny area. Cover it with soil. You can also plant an entire pumpkin. Just take the whole darn
Just
thing.
put the whole dang thing in the ground.
The rotted pumpkin from
yes,
Halloween.
that's what I'm saying. It
ram
happened to me
just-
before.
just
Right,
ram it in there.
Right there.
Just
Get
there-
your overalls and your plaid shirt, and you got yourself a pumpkin patch
Put
business.
some straw in your mouth.
That's it.
Nibbling on it. There
Hay
you go.
bale or two, a couple turkeys. You're done. End of story.
Okay, all right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
How about mushrooms? I love
No, I
mushrooms.
had no idea you could do mushrooms.
Mushrooms?
Well, I will say though, at one of the markets, the specialty markets, I did buy a box that was grow your own
right.
mushrooms.
We saw
Remember that?
Of course, it was a garden show.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, well, they like dark, warm areas, but a little bit of humidity,
Well,
right?
it's a fungus.
It's a fungus. So what you want to do is you can take the leftover mushrooms that you had from the salad. You
Yeah.
had some extras you were going to put in the refrigerator. Don't do that.
No.
You're going to take some of these cuttings, all right? It's going to be a little more difficult than the other veggies. As long as you have a warm area, you're going to basically grow them in a pot as opposed to in the ground because you have a better shot of controlling the temperature
Okay.
and the humidity. And you just have to cut away the head of the mushroom and plant the stalk or the stem in the soil. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So again, you're going to cut away the head of the mushroom, eat that for yourself,
Yep.
and save the stalk that isn't the good part anyway,
No.
and put that in the soil and just leave the very top exposed, and the base is going to grow a new head.
Come on.
Yes. Isn't that weird? It's like the lizard that grows the new tail.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
remember that
growing
as a kid?
mushrooms.
Did you
I
ever watch
do.
the lizard
I
that
do.
didn't have a tail?
I know. And then all of a sudden,
Had a
there's
tail.
there's a tail.
This is going to be like that. The mushrooms. So again, you're going to chop your mushrooms, make your salad tonight. Save that little stem that isn't very. You're going to put it in the trash. Don't do that.
You know what?
Put a container with soil.
Now that I know you can grow mushrooms, I'm going off the
You're gonna-
grid.
you need-
I'm going off the grid.
You're going to need.
I don't need anybody.
Amy's going to come home and say, "What the heck is going
Got a crazy
on?"
mushroom farm here now. What's going on?
So
No, I'm off the grid. I don't need
you're-
power. I don't need I don't need anything. I'm
you're
done.
off the hook.
That's
Just
it.
again, just make sure that you move it to an area so that it is kind of in a humid area, right?
Because it can't be out in the cold night air. It's got to be controlled temperature.
And it doesn't want like just dried out. It needs to have some moisture.
Got to be moist.
And the soil has to be rich in nutrients. So next time you make some omelets,
Yeah.
right? Save the eggshells and crumble the eggshells. I'd like you to do that. Put that in the soil.
Throw that in. Well, that keeps the snails at bay, doesn't it?
And it gives it some
Almost
supercharge.
like barbed wire.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Bell peppers,
No way.
hot peppers. You've done this,
No,
right?
I'm growing hot peppers right now.
From
So-
seed or from plant?
I got it from a plant.
Okay, so collect the seeds that after you eat it, after you harvest it,
Uh-huh.
save the seeds from your habaneros, your jalapenos, any other peppers.
Uh-huh.
Plant the seeds in soil. Keep it in direct sun.
Those little tiny seeds, just
in
right in the soil.
In the soil, in a container.
Okay.
The peppers grow pretty fast, and they don't require a lot of care. And you'll be seeing some action coming up in
I'm
a
in
couple
pepper
of-
heaven, is what I'm in.
Yeah. What about fennel?
No, I didn't know you could do fennel.
Now, fennel, again, it's a root vegetable, right? All you need is about an inch of the base of the fennel to get it to regrow.
I actually think fennel's really pretty.
It's beautiful.
As a decorative
it's like
thing,
a fern.
too. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's gorgeous.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of designers use a little bit of snip of that in a cut flower,
Yeah.
bouquet.
Love the smell of it, too.
But all you do is kind of like the avocado method. You're going to cut off the bottom base,
Yeah.
about an inch of it, and you're going to now, put this in. I would like the idea of maybe putting this in a container of water, about a cup of water, leave it in direct sunlight, and the windowsill's perfect, and the roots start to grow.
Just got to make sure that you have. Do you change the water out on that one? You just keep it full so it doesn't
Keep
evaporate.
it full.
Yeah.
Keep it full, and then once you see the roots grow, and the new shoots, then you can transplant it to soil, ready to go.
Great.
Tomatoes, who knew? Now, can you believe this?
I actually didn't know you could do this. I assume it must happen because I've had tomatoes after some of them have, at the end, like in October, they're sitting there rotten and in the ground, and then you get
Yeah.
more tomato plants.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
must be that.
It's the seeds, and so you just have to rinse the seeds and let them dry,
Okay.
and then you plant them directly in rich potting soil. And then you're going to notice some action coming in, and then you're going to let the seeds get about a few inches high before transplanting them outdoors. So you're doing this inside. And you can even do it during cold weather,
Really?
right? You can grow your tomatoes indoors. So you go to the grocery store one more time.
Yeah.
You get a tomato, you get the seeds, you rinse them off, you put them on a paper towel.
I wonder why you have to rinse them off because they probably get, rotten or something if you don't?
I think you just want to dry them out.
They want to be dry. Okay.
Yeah, and so remember that you want to keep. They probably get too smushy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They
that's right.
probably, and you want to remember to keep them in an area that gets plenty of sun, and then water them a few times a week.
That's pretty easy.
I mean, are you ready for this? I mean, there are so many
I
things.
cannot believe that.
This is all food scrap stuff that you're growing. And then how about if you haven't already fallen in love with basil? You're growing basil.
I'm doing it right now. And I'll tell you, it was so dried out yesterday. I brought it in. I have it in a pot. I watered it 3 different times. Popped right back up again.
Really?
Ready to go.
Great.
Yeah.
See? So the next time you grab a little leaf or two to make your lovely mozzarella and tomato salad, right? Why not grab at least a stem? You only need a stem that's about 4 inches high.
Okay.
And you place the stem back to the water again. You kind of get the idea. You kind of get the feel of the rhythm of what needs
Sure.
water, what needs
It's
soil.
a hydroponic scenario where you're just putting it in water and letting the roots show
Yeah.
up, and then you're ready to plant.
And if the vegetable, like a potato or whatever, already has the root or has a nub that is kind of a root bearing, that's the soil now versus the water now.
Gotcha.
So the basil, you place the stem in a glass of water, and then the leaves are above the water line.
Okay.
And then you leave this glass of water in a bright area, not direct sun.
No.
So your kitchen
You'll
window
burn it. Yeah.
doesn't get direct, right?
No.
Indirect.
It's
Okay.
obscure, yeah.
So then the roots should form in a few days, and now
that's it?
it'll be a couple inches long, and now you can transplant that into soil.
Jeez.
Now to the thing that I love, but I've had such difficulty with, it's cilantro. Because I buy the plant, and I just have a difficult time. I think I overwater it.
I love cilantro so much. I love it in my Mexican stuff that I make. It's
I know.
just fantastic.
It's great for
Oh,
any kind of anything. Well, anyway, it can be grown from scraps. Place the bottom of the stem in a glass of water in a bright area.
Yeah.
And then the roots will grow and a couple inches long, and then transplant that into a pot with soil, and you'll see some new sprigs in a few weeks.
Can't believe it.
We'll put all this on the website.
Never going to the market
we
again.
we are farmers.
Supermarket chains,
right
look out.
now.
I'm
Kitchen
done with you.
scraps, we love you.
Yeah.
Don't waste it.
Nope.
Eric Stormer, Cindy Dole, you're listening to Home Wizard.